Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
And this is Estella.
And welcome to
Cafecito.
And Crime. Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. How are you, sister?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I could be better, but
can't complain.
But I can't complain.
Yeah.
No.
Pues,
I'm like, my stress level is to 150 right now. There's a lot going on. End of the school year. Se enferman los huercos. Like, there's just, hay mucho es mucho.
Yeah.
Pero I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forgive us for last week. That was my fault. All my fault. Like I said, the stress level has been 150, and not only 150, it's just been crazy out here in these streets. But we're back, and actually we're actually going to talk about something we've never talked about. We're going somewhere really far today.
Australia?
No, we're going to Almaty, Kazakhstan.
Huh?
Yeah, we're going to Kazakhstan.
Okay, I don't think, is that it? I've never heard of that country.
It's, well, I'm going to tell you about it in a little bit.
Personally, I haven't,
but it's closer. At first, I thought it was like Asia, but then I realized it's really close to Russia.
Okay, so like in the Middle East?
Yeah, kind of in the Middle East,
okay.
yeah. So,
¿Es frontera con Russia?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're asking too much. You're asking for me to know too much.
I can pull it up because now I want to know.
Yeah, so we're going to Almaty, Kazakhstan. I don't know why I keep messing that up, pero it's Kazakhstan.
Can you spell it?
Kazakhstan.
It's in Central Asia.
Central Asia.
I don't know why I say Middle East.
Yo te dije que sí.
Oh, sí, es frontera con Rusia.
Yeah.
And I think toca frontera también con Mongolia.
Oh, okay. So, no, vamos lejos. Vamos lejos.
También con Uzbekistan.
Yes, girl.
And Kyrgyzstan. Mm-hmm. All the stands. Yeah.
Today, if you would like to come with us to Kazakhstan, go ahead and grab your cafecitos.
And let's get started.
So, fun, random, interesting fact of Almaty, Kazakhstan.
Espérame.
Okay.
How did we even find a case?
Girl, because I'm internationally known.
Oh.
Girl, ¿qué te pasa? O sea, yo soy
You're cultured.
Yes, girl. O sea, bueno, that and because I was on TikTok. Anyway. So,
hey, it's good. TikTok is international, girl.
Hey, girl. I was like on TikTok and then it...
As you are.
Yeah, pero a mí cuando me llama la atención un case, like, it has to... Like, I don't know why.
There has to be something.
Something. Like, the smallest little thing, ya con eso ya vale madre.
It's totally random sometimes.
Yeah, it's random, but yeah. So anyway, so it's the capital. Almaty is the capital of Kazakhstan until 1997. When they took it away. And they said, no, you're not the capital anymore. The government moved the capital to another city called Astana. So they were like, never mind, you're not the capital. We're moving it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't know you could do that, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then the name Almaty is derived from the word Kazakhstan. So like their language, Almaty is the word alma, like alma. But over there,
like soul,
but over there the meaning is apple.
Oh, okay.
So the region is believed to be the ancestral home of the wild apple, and it's often claimed that all the apples originated from there.
Oh, cool.
Because if you didn't know...
I didn't know.
Almaty is one of the greenest cities in Central Asia.
Oh, shit.
So we're in Central Asia.
Sí.
And it has a lot of, like, está bien bonito de verde everywhere. It's green, and there's many trees.
What's a wild apple? That's interesting.
Like a lot of apples. Me imagino como like different apples.
No, obviously there's different type of apples, rather, you know, pero...
So there's a lot of tree-lined avenues, gardens, and parks. Hold on. So we're going to...
Oh, espérame. Wild apples, also known as crab apples.
Nice. Ahorita.
Are the original apple trees from which all cultivated apple varieties were developed.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
So, yeah, de ahí.
We're going to where the apple is
Came to be. Yeah.
So on November the 20th of 2023, the news broke that there was a woman at a restaurant that had been beaten to death.
Oh my God.
Yes. It was apparent that the murder, unfortunately, was her husband that had done it. A man by the name. Now, this is where we're going to hold on, because I had to look it up because these names, pero I listened to it so much that I ya sé cómo decirlo.
A ver, dilo, pues.
Hold on. Pause the commercial. Sorry. Es que el pinche de los commercials. Ahí está. It's Bishimbaev.
Okay.
Pero that's the last name. Pero wait.
Kuandyk Bishimbaev.
So, Kuandyk Bishimbaev.
Okay.
Which, okay, got it.
Bishimbaev.
Got it, YouTube. Got it. Okay, gracias. Te lo agradezco. So, we are going to call him Bishimbaev because that's what they called him in the case. I don't know why. They just used his last name, I guess, but I'm going to tell you why. So
you just want to use his initials?
No, I can say Bishimbaev. So he was not just any man. He was also the ex-economy minister.
Oh, damn.
Yes, to Kazakhstan. Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Along with one of the owners of the restaurant where they found the woman dead.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The woman's name was Saltanat Nukenova. I can't say it, but her first name is Saltanat.
Okay.
So I'm going to refer her as her first name and then him as his last name.
Okay.
And she was found in a horrible state.
Oh my God.
She was lying motionless on the floor.
At the restaurant?
At the restaurant. Okay. She wasn't on the floor. She was lying motionless on a bed or like a kind of it was a VIP.
Like a cot?
Cot thingy, como un sofá.
Uh-huh.
And she was in a pool of her own blood.
Oh my God.
The medical staff did try to resuscitate her and she was pronounced dead at the scene. The medics did notice that she had some bruising on her face and multiple lacerations. So many that they couldn't count, like just by looking at her.
God.
Había muchos.
Yeah.
So she was almost unrecognizable. So let's go back a little bit to find out who Saltanat and Bishimbaev is, okay? I'm just going to call him B because
I'm telling you use his initials.
I don't want to call her... I want to call her name
by
because
her name.
she deserves it. Yeah. And this is where we're going to start. So Mr. B, we're going to call him Mr. B.
El señor.
He actually was born in 1980. I think it was like April or something like that.
No está viejo.
No.
Yo me lo imaginaba like 50 or I don't know, más grande, I guess.
In Kaisalora, which is another part of Kazakhstan, and he was from a very influential family, Estela. Like, these people had money. His father was a director of one of Kazakhstan's most prestigious universities, and he was very close acquaintance of the former president of Kazakhstan. It's Nursultan Nazarbayev. I'm pretty sure that's not how you say it, but well. With all of these connections, Mr. B could have become whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Like he could do whatever. In 1999, he graduated from Naxos University in Almaty. And then in 2001, he completed his studies at a university. It's called Dultade, something like that. And where the same year, he actually earned his master's in business and administration. Okay. He also came here to the United States to George Washington University in Washington, D.C. He started as a manager at a development bank in Kazakhstan, and he quickly was able to climb the ladder in positions one after another until his status was Vice Minister of Industry and Trade in 2007. Damn. In 2009, he became an assistant to the president of Kazakhstan. In 2010, he became the Vice Minister in Economy, Development and Trade as the youngest minister in history of Kazakhstan.
Wait, I don't know if you know, but do you think it's because he was actually good at what he did?
He was very intelligent.
Okay, so
yeah, he was a little bit of both.
Like his connections, and he was actually good at his job.
Yeah, he was only 36 at this time. He was joven and he was smart.
Had the connections.
He had the connections. He knew more than one language. So, I mean, obviously he was gonna, which is good. That's awesome. Yeah. Like I said, he was one of the youngest ministers then. Like in many situations, he was involved, or many times, not only in situations, many times, he was involved in a high-profile corruption trial in 2018. He and 22 others were found guilty of corruption and bribery while leading a state-controlled holding company. he was sentenced to 10 years and community service for the rest of his life.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I know. I thought, yeah.
Damn, not even like 5 years of probation.
Bitch, the rest of your life. So once again, he was very influential. His family knew a lot of people.
They probably got him off, from those.
Yeah, after serving only 18 months, he was released from jail with the pardon from the president, Nur Sultan Nazarov, whatever. Now we're going to talk about
Su esposa?
Yes, his wife Saltanat. Her last name is Nukenova. She was born in 1992, which makes her 12 years younger than her husband. She was born also into a wealthy family, but, her family was more of successful because they were business owners. She was born in a province called Pavlodar. That is close also to there in Kangastan. Mm-hmm. And so they were able to send Saltanat to England. And it was later said that she was actually the niece of the mayor of Pavlodar. And so they were pretty much, what I'm trying to say is they had a good status,
Yeah, también, pues.
She was very free-spirited. She had an older brother. His name is Adbek. And they were very, very close. They were like only a few years apart, and even they would talk all the time. Like that was her best friend.
¿Él era más grande o más chiquito?
Más grande.
Okay.
Yeah. She was really into astrology. There's some people that you're into astrology and you're like, I know your sign. Y así, me da puro pedo. No, she was into it. Meaning like at one point, like I believe that she was in school and some girl was reading a book about astrology. Se lo pidió prestado, and that was it for her. She was in it. She got so good at it that she even started to get some clients. Okay. And she was doing readings. Mm-hmm. She also put together her Instagram and she offered paid sessions. So she actually made a little bit of money from that.
Oh, yeah, because es reciente el caso.
Yeah.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
And she started to get some following on social media along with, so she was kind of up
doing
there
her thing.
Yeah, doing her thing. Yeah, she was cool.
Making her little monies también.
At one point, her brother did say that she did not want to do consultations for men anymore because she only started to do them for women because the men started kind of
being weird,
right?
Ugh.
Which, okay, I get it, but leave us alone.
Like why,
she's out here just doing her own thing, déjala en
They have
paz.
to... Siempre tienen que hacer algo, right?
Yeah. So she would tell her friends that men started to get weird after a few times that she would speak to them, and they would ask her out on dates, and she was like, I don't want to...
That's not what she was doing.
That's not what she wanted, you know? Her brother remembers at one point that she told him a story de un man that kept insisting on taking her on a date, and that que no sabía cómo quitárselo encima. So then she said, well, I really don't want to go out on a date because I don't think you would like me. Y que le dice el guy, what do you mean? Why would I not like you? Y que le dice ella, oh, it's because I'm a feminist. Ella le dijo.
Okay.
Y luego the guy was like, oh, so does that mean that you only see women? No. Ay, pobrecito. Ay,
pues.
amiga, pobrecito, pues. So that's why, and her brother says that they would laugh at that all the time. Like that was their running joke. As I said before, Saltanat only did consults with women, but around August 2022, so in 2022, Saltanat caught the eye of Mr. B, este señor, right? And no matter what she did, Saltanat, he tried everything, and she was like, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you.
Really?
So she declined him. And he was like, what do you mean you don't want to see me?
Like, do you know who I am?
I'm this big old businessman. You're saying no to me.
Status,
So she was like, no, I don't want to see you. So he asked one of his girlfriends to say, hey.
Excuse me? Mm-hmm. One of his girlfriends?
Yeah, friends, like a girlfriend.
Like, okay. I thought you said that que tenía multiple
No.
novias.
To help to get a consultation with her.
Con ella. Yeah.
And then the consultation was going on. So she was able to get in with her y todo. And then the friend told Saltanat, hey, there is
this guy.
He's a friend of mine and he really wanted to meet you. The reason I did that was because I wanted him to meet you, right?
Yeah.
So she figured, well, somebody went this far to want to meet me. I'm going to give him a chance, right? So she was kind of like flattered a little bit. So she gave him a chance. Now, their relationship progressed really fast, Estela. Like, meaning like they went from talking to, whoa, like they were in a relationship. So when her friends would ask her about her relationship, because he was so much old, he was older, 12 years. It's not a lot, the difference, pero si lo miras, like the way he looked a lot older
¿Y
than
en qué
her.
año was this?
This is 2022.
Oh, apenitas. Okay, so she was what? Like
she was from
30?
92. She was 30.
30.
Yeah.
Y él ya que andaba en sus 42.
Yeah.
40?
So, pero si los miras, like you can tell because her skin is gorgeous. Like she's a gorgeous woman.
¿Y él?
Y él no. And so
A ver, let me look his ass up. ¿Cómo se llama otra vez?
Se llama
Bitch ass.
Así, mira. Espérame.
Kuandyk Bishimbaev.
Bishimbaev.
Oh, sí, a ver. There only has to be one on the internet que me salga, ¿verdad?
Kuandyk Bishimbaev.
Bish. Just call him Bish because it sounds like bitch.
El Bish.
El Bish. Yeah, I see el Bish.
So,
más triste.
yeah, girl.
Señor.
Yeah. So their relationship, like I said, it did go really fast. So then whenever her friends le preguntaban, like, what's up with you? Like, why are you going so fast? Like, what's going on?
Like, slow down. ¿Qué es la prisa?
Yeah, like, ¿cuál la prisa?
Right.
And she would be like, no, it's because he's older than me. And when I talk to him, like, I feel like he understands me. And he's not like all the other, like, muchachos que no entienden and stuff like that. And when I go into deep conversation with him, it's different.
Like, it flows.
Yeah, it flows. So in December, so we're talking about from August to December, that's how fast it went.
Like 4 months.
Yes. 2022, they had a marriage ceremony. Yes, girl. They actually had two, and they were both Muslim. Now, I say marriage ceremony because they legally never signed paperwork. Like, nunca, like, they signed
papers. So,
era
religiosa?
Era como religiosa.
Okay.
Yeah. So, basically, she turned into his wife, pero kind of like a common law thing. Me imagino así estaba la onda.
Okay.
And I'll explain.
Not legally, pues.
Not legally, but I'll explain
okay.
why I think that happened too. So she didn't sign. So after that, she did post on social media. She was really happy. Saltanat wrote, the most golden husband. I have never regretted saying yes. I am ready to roll the dough from morning to evening for him. End quote. That was his third wife. She was becoming his third wife. So he had been married 3 times before, and he had a few children as well. Everything looked fine and dandy. But as we know, what happens on social media is not always the truth, even though we want to say that it is. Her brother... Now, the reason that I'm going to reference her brother a lot is because on Rotten Mango, I know that, I don't know if anybody's heard of this podcast, but there's a podcast or a YouTube channel, se llama Rotten Mango, and they actually were able to contact her brother and they talked to him. So I listened to a lot of the conversation. So when I say her brother is because of that. And because that was her best friend.
Yeah.
So her brother at one point... He remembers that one day, like randomly, he received some pictures from his sister, and it was of her with estaba toda golpeada. So basically, she had bruises, and both her eyes were black.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Y luego she had like a lip that was open. Y cuando él la vio las pictures, he's like, what the fuck happened? Like, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
What's going on? Y ella no le contestaba.
Nomás recibió las fotos.
And
then that's it.
And said, don't ask me questions, basically, is what she said. So when her brother kept asking her, no le contestaba. So then he begins to call her, y no le contestaba. So he even calls him, al Bish, y le dice, hey, ¿qué pedo con mi sister? So Aribek said que he did talk to him y que el Bish le decía que no sabía nada.
Bitch, that's your wife.
I don't know anything. I don't know where she's at. And if you want to fix it, come and fix it like a man.
What?
Le dijo. So then Aribek said I did what any man would do. I drove over there to look for my sister.
Yeah.
He said when he got to the apartment, he was different. Like, he wasn't like, órale, vamos a pelear.
He wasn't talking...
calmado,
yeah, he wasn't talking big shit.
And he told Aribek that...
He talked the talk, he couldn't walk the walk.
He couldn't walk the walk, yeah. Because he liked to prey on people that were defenseless. Now, he did not know... He said he didn't know, and he told him, stay out of our marital business. It's not your business. So at this point, he's like, I need to find my sister. Where is she? So he finally did find Saltanat, and she was at one of her parents' homes. I guess they had like a vacation home. Y se había ido para allá. So when she found him, he's like, please don't go back over there. Come with me. I will take care of you. Don't go back. And
so I guess in between all of this, obviously they knew that he had hurt her.
He had hurt her.
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously because of the pictures and I think certain things that would happen. And so then he was like, please don't go back, and she said, no, I love him. That's my husband and I need to stand by his side.
Yeah.
And she also asked him to erase the messages, but that please save the pictures. Me think she knew it was
She knew something
was wrong. So at this point, Bish and Arabic stopped talking. They're not talking anymore. And Saltanat kind of también wouldn't
I'm
talk
sure she
to them.
felt like she was between a rock and a hard place because, that's her husband, but this is your brother. This is your family.
And she started to distance from the whole family as well. And around this time also, they noticed that she stopped doing consultations. She stopped working. Her brother later states that his sister went as far as blaming herself for what had happened to her.
Aww.
Yeah, she was like, it was my fault. I said something.
Or something. Yeah. Wow.
Other people around the couple confirmed the same. Anara Tasanova, which is Saltanat's former assistant, said that they actually had met up for coffee one day and she saw some rope marks on her neck and strangulation marks. And que le dijo,
what the fuck?
I mean, you can't just walk in and have fucking rope marks and I'm going to be like, no hay pedo, ¿verdad?
Right, como si nada.
So,
like you
along with bruising on her face and when
did she not try to, I mean, I'm not saying that this is okay, but you would think that people that are being like harmed by like a spouse or whatever, they should try to cover it up.
Well, probably she did, but
not very well.
Not very well.
Okay.
And when she met up with her, she told her, yes, I know this is going on. She said, I basically kind of try to explain it off. She said she actually described Bish as a tyrant, like
wow, yeah,
uncontrollable, basically.
Wow.
So Saltanat did try to leave him a lot of times, many times. She even rented an apartment a few months before her death. It was later known that Bish had manipulated Saltanat with a sex video that this piece of shit told her that they needed to make.
What?
He made her make the video.
Yeah.
And then told her, I will leave you if you make the video.
What?
And she was so desperate.
Yeah, that she went along with it.
That she said, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But no. Then he threatened her with posting it online.
If she left. What a piece of
shit. That's what he is.
Ass.
So Bish says que he never blackmailed her, but that he did have the video if you wanted to see it.
What?
He's like, yeah, it's here, but it was a private
between like a husband and a wife.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
It was not something that I
used to blackmail her.
So this brings us back to the evening of November 8th, 2023. So Bish, now remember this, I said November the 8th. Okay. So Bish and his wife, Saltanat, attended a concert by a Russian singer, Dima Bilyan, at the Consiston Concert Hall. At some point, I don't know where, I heard somewhere they were saying que they started arguing because there was a woman there and that he had left her parada allí and that he had gone to go talk to that woman for 45 minutes and that Saltanat was by herself and that they began to argue. Other things says that they just were in an argument. I don't know. The point is that they end up arguing, and at this point they're now arguing in front. Now, on the other hand, that sounds like, okay, yeah, maybe she was jealous. But I mean, he controlled every single thing. He controlled what she wore. So she was wearing.
I mean, it's not like, but still like, yeah, if my significant other left me to go talk to somebody else and left me by myself at a concert that we're both attending at the same time together, te largas 45 minutes,
45
bitch?
minutes.
Not even to just go say, hey, I'm going to go say hi real quick. I'll be back. Bitch, 45 minutes?
45 minutes.
That's half the concert.
That's, yeah. And then not only that, but I mean, he was a pathological jealous man.
I mean, if that's the reason if they were arguing, you know? So
nobody will ever know that.
Yeah. Él sabe, pero he's not going to say.
Before the actual concert ended, now at this point you can see her because there's CCTV of them standing outside and they were walking where they're arguing. And now she's wearing like a pantsuit y una chamarra. Some people say it was a puffer jacket. I don't know if it was puffer. It just looked black to me, but I don't know.
Does that come into play?
No, it really doesn't. But I'm just saying, I'm going to say it's a black jacket. So when they left the concert, I guess they were gonna, I don't know what their thought was. So they ended up at the BAU or Bao restaurant. Like I said at the beginning, this was a restaurant that Busy's family owned. Bish's. We need to remember at this point, they hadn't been married for a full year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Because they, remember,
and even then it was a ceremony.
It was a ceremony, yeah. So CCTV that was recovered, some of the footage, shows them talking in the hallway of the restaurant. Now, at this time, it's 1 a.m. So from the time that they leave the concert to the restaurant, they show up at the CCTV at 1 a.m. Okay? Now, you can see that in the footage that the Bischoff fucker grabs Saltanat's face.
You can see it?
Yes, girl. You can see it. It's I'll go into a whole thing a rant about this in a minute. So, como que le está diciendo algo y la tiene como agarrada, like squishing her face like this.
With both of his hands?
With both of his hands. Now, she's standing there just looking at him. Her hands are down. Her hands are never up at him. Nothing. She's just standing there. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on around the restaurant. And this comes pretty much big into play because the workers are preparing the restaurant because there was going to be a visitor. Now, when this visitor comes in, they're getting ready for the visitor. When the visitor comes in...
So there's other people around?
Exactly.
At 1 a.m?
Let me tell you why. So the visitor that's coming in is supposedly Vladimir Putin.
A la verga.
So Vladimir is supposed to, or Putin, I don't know, whatever. So anyway, so he was going to come in. Según. Pero lo que yo escuché de lo que dice la girl off of Rotten Mango es que whenever they have somebody coming, they have to prepare it. Like they have to make sure que no hagan, like the food.
Everything's in place.
Que everything's in place.
Especialmente if it's going to be somebody of him, you know?
Him, you know? And so then they were like, getting prepared for this.
Yeah.
So at this point...
So they were fucking like cleaning the floors with a toothbrush or something.
Yeah, exactly. So the manager, esa noche del restaurante, le llama al cousin de Bislov. De Bishi. Y le dice, hey, you need to come here because we're trying to work and...
This is going on or whatever.
Bish and his wife are arguing and fighting. And so he's like, and he's super drunk and we can't let him drive like this.
Right. Y ellos tampoco no le pueden decir nada.
So le dice, he's not letting us get any work done. He's acting crazy. You know, come and get him. El cousin was like, oh, okay. Se queda dormido.
Oh.
No se levanta. Right? So after this, you see in the CCTV where Bish enters the VIP room. Room number 1. Now, this is a big deal because in a lot of in most of the case, he's in room number 1 and you're like, why? But I'll explain to you why. And now he's with the glass bottle in room number 1.
Okay. ¿El solo?
No, he enters with her.
Okay.
Con Saltanat. And then at around 3 a.m. Okay.
Like 2 hours later.
Exactly. At around 3 a.m., is whenever they enter the VIP room. So from the 1 a.m. whenever they're arguing till 3 a.m. there's nothing.
Okay. What do you mean? Wait.
So from at 1 a.m. they're arguing y la tiene así agarrada.
Pero just right there for everybody
just right
to
there,
see.
And everybody's looking or whatever. And then they
2 hours, I can see about 2 hours later, they enter the VIP room.
Yes.
At around 3 a.m.
At around 3 in the morning.
And this is where you say que tiene una botella?
Una botella.
Okay.
Yeah, a glass bottle.
Okay.
After this, from that VIP room, he doesn't leave until 6:57.
Almost 4 hours?
Exactly. So...
Y luego, pues, el cousin never came.
The cousin never came, and they call him twice, and he never comes, el cousin. So they're seen leaving now together. The VIP room, number 1, now you can see them leaving the room together. So now, ahora sí va. Now, it's obvious that Saltanat is not wearing pants.
Oh, shit.
Pero tiene como... She's only wearing Bish's jacket.
On top of it.
Okay. Of herself.
Right.
And she did have some ropa como agarrada en la mano.
Okay.
Así.
Maybe her pants.
Maybe.
Okay.
For this concert, he had bought her a Maximera suit.
Okay. And that's what she was wearing?
That's what she was wearing.
Okay.
So at this point, when you see them walk in, she's wearing it y luego she's not. Now, that is us putting us, at 6:57. At 7:16 a.m.,
like 20 minutes later.
20 minutes later, they're back in the frame of the camera. And you can see...
Still at the restaurant.
Okay. And you can see where Bish is beating Saltanat. Now, he grabs her by the hair, pushes her to the floor like la vienta, and he's kicking her. Estela, when I saw the video, I started to cry.
Wait, by this point, hay gente todavía ya no hay.
Hay gente.
What?
Yes. Because remember, they're getting ready for...
Right, but I just...
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It gets worse. He's kicking her in her private areas where she's obviously... Now we know that she wasn't wearing any clothes under her pants.
Okay.
So
under her jacket.
Yeah.
Which is his jacket.
So he's stomping her so hard, Estela. He's stomping on her. And I was telling my husband this yesterday because it really, like, that image is really imprinted in my head.
Like, I understand he is the boss, right? But why aren't these people doing anything?
Nothing. And stomping on her so bad que se agarra de la mesa. There's like a little table, like a table in the entrance. You know how they have like decorations. So he's holding on to the table
to leverage himself,
to kick her harder. And she's just putting her hands like this and her legs tapándose lo más que puede, you know. And she's just trying to protect her face. Then he again drags her by the hair. At around this time, so we're talking about around 7:15. Let's say the attack lasts like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever. And now he picks her up, drags her from the hair, and you can see where he's dragging her. And he goes to the restroom. Now we're gonna call this stall 1. Okay. After that, we don't know what happens in the restroom,
obviously, because there's no cameras
until 6 months later in the trial, which I will tell you what happened. Bish said that now because he's defending himself, right? That he was bringing her in the restroom because she was making a lot of noise.
No shit, fuck face.
And he got mad because she grabbed the jewelry that he had given her and she put it in the toilet. And that hurt her feelings. His feelings, yeah. Now,
that doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense. And also there was evidence to where the referred bracelet and whatever the jewelry is actually, you can see her marks of where she ripped them, where he ripped them off.
That's fine, but so what was before that? If you're saying that her jewelry, she threw it in the toilet, and that's what made you upset, you didn't go into the restroom before that. You're already beating her up.
Yep. He then drags her again by the hair out of stall 1. So it seemed like she was able to get away from him for a little bit, and she goes into another stall. So we're gonna say stall 2. Pero
and nobody's helping her.
Nobody.
What the fuck is wrong with these people? They're just as guilty as he is.
Exactly. For a moment now, there is evidence where there's like a hole in the wall of the stall. So he was stall 2. So now he drags her out of stall 2. And then after that, we don't know what happens because it's in the restroom. And the reason that we know that there's something happened was because there's a hole. And then we see him come out of the restroom. Now, he was in that restroom, Estela, for 50 minutes. 50 minutes. And nobody said anything.
And dude, since 1 a.m, nobody did anything.
Nobody. So CCTV.
That was like 6 hours.
CCTV shows him come out, and now he's alone, and he gets a bottle of alcohol.
Another
bottle, and he's shirtless now. I don't know. And then he returns to the restroom. Now, he says that she tried to punch him when he came back, right? And that she ripped her clothes off and threw it at him, and that offended him again.
She already wasn't wearing any clothes.
Exactly.
Before you guys went into the bathroom.
This is what he's saying, but they were there for an additional 70 minutes. So
what time is it now? Fucking 10 a.m?
Exactly. Hold on. So he states that he did slap her, but only with his hand.
No.
And that he tried to help her up, pero que she was so drunk because she was drunk, que she fell over from how drunk she was, and that she hit the wall herself.
No.
And that she hit the stall, and she even hit the toilet bowl with her own head. Now, it was suspected at this point, we don't know, that Saltanat would get beaten, and then she would regain consciousness and then get beaten again. At 9:30, he calls his cousin.
Al que le hablaron los
al que le
employers.
hablaron que nunca fue. And says, doesn't say much. All he said was, come to the restaurant and bring some blankets. That's all he says. Now, the cousin took 30 minutes to get there. So we're talking about now it's 10 in the morning, like you said. Okay? And he came in with the 2 covers, 2 duvets. Now, he sees Saltanat lying on the couch of the VIP room 1. And
so he still got her from the restroom and took her to the VIP room, where I'm sure people were seeing this.
Yes. Mind you, she is naked.
Unbelievable.
And I'm going to tell you why I know she's naked.
And beat up.
Bish tells him, just put a cover on her. Así. Tápala. Right? And, I mean, the cousin's like, okay. So he does what he tells him. So she puts the cover, the duvet on Saltanat. He puts the cover on Saltanat, and he acts like he can't see the obvious blood everywhere all over her.
I'm sure I'm assuming here that she's already dead.
Give me a minute. She was naked, and he later tells the police that, she was naked and I didn't want to stare. So I just put the cover like he told me, and that was it. Now,
I'm sure she was all beat up.
But let me tell you something. This is what upset me is that he did hear her snoring.
Or so he thought.
It wasn't snoring. She was gurgling, dying. And he's like, she was snoring. So he figured, okay, she's asleep. She's drunk. Right?
Okay, what about the bloodiness, the bruises?
No, nada. And then Biskov. Not even Biskov.
No, why would
Bitch instructed his cousin to fix her.
What?
He's like, fix her on the sofa.
Fix her how?
Like, yo creo como arreglarla, yo creo no la costó bien o no sé. I don't know. He's like, fix her. So the cousin grabs her and he tries to, I guess, fix her, like recogerla. And he said he noticed that one of her eyes was very swollen. But this is what really hurt me right here, because he said that Saltanat also grabbed his arm and squeezed, probably asking for help.
I hate everybody here. Everybody.
And he says,
fuck off.
I think she was trying to tell me something. No shit, motherfucker. No shit.
I can't believe this.
Okay. 2.5 hours later, Estela.
Bitch, 12 hours?
Yes, bitch. As we said, a little past 12 in the afternoon, Bish sends a WhatsApp message.
So yeah, nobody fucking helps her?
Nobody.
At what time did this restaurant open?
Apparently, I mean, it's his family's restaurant.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you open at what? You fucking serve breakfast? Se abren a las 8.
I think it was like a karaoke. So hablen en la tarde. So I don't know. So he sends...
Vladimir Putin was going to karaoke?
I guess he parties it up. I don't know. Well, he sends a WhatsApp message to his cousin. Le dice...
But it's by 12, el cousin ya no anda ahí, ¿o qué verga?
No, el cousin está ahí, but I guess he's working or like... I don't know. So then he tells him, you need to go and delete all the footage of the CCTV. So that is why I'm telling you that there's some footage that we can't see from the night before. So, and then 15 minutes later, he goes and checks and makes sure that he's deleting it. Pero we're in 2023. So by this time, no saben que you can recover shit like that. Anyway, he then tells him to take Saltanat's phone y drive it around. So creo que el gym de Saltanat was right in front of the place close by. And he says, go to the gym and then see so that it can seem like he's moving around that she's moving around. He was worried about her brother. Le dice, her brother. Yeah, le dice, her brother has been tracking her since yesterday. And he's like, I'm scared he's going to show up here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pinche viejo.
Yeah. So at this point, it's about 2 p.m., Estela. Okay.
Todavía.
So we're on November 9th now.
She could have gotten help. Like, she could have lived.
Well, let me keep going. While the
Lock
cousin...
all these fuckers up. Todos.
Desde el pinche que estaciona el carro hasta el de...
El que fucking wash the dishes and shit.
I don't give a fuck. Anyway, so then, while the cousin's out doing what Bish tells him to do, Bish is sitting down making some important phone calls.
Oh, sí.
Pues estaba ocupado.
Para el visitor, pues.
Con el visitor, ¿ves? He actually calls his most trusted advisor his psychic. And le dice que he's freaking out because his wife is not waking up. Y le dice, yeah, oh, don't worry. She's just resting her brain.
Verbatim, that's what she says?
That's what she says. She's just resting her brain. So 3:30 comes around.
Lock her up too.
And in a scene on CCTV that he's eating a whole ass meal, Estela.
Como si nada.
A meal with an influencer.
What?
With another woman. Now, let me talk about this woman because this is something that it was very was kind of like they made it seem like something else was going on, right?
Between
them.
It
was like on a date.
It appeared.
Pero a lot of people say that there's something else going on with that. But around this time, 3:30, el cousin se da cuenta que Saltanat's not waking up. So he calls the doctor.
Oh, so he calls the doctor.
Yeah, but wait. He calls the doctor and he says, hey, if someone is drunk and this time has passed and they're not waking up, what should I do? And the doctor says, well, what do you mean? How much did they drink? He's like, well, I'm not sure, but...
People are not very bright here, right?
I don't know.
You don't want to check for a pulse or something,
no,
you know?
No, because he said que no. And so then the doctor says, you should call the ambulance. Le dice, this person needs help because if the person has not woken up and they're supposedly like intoxicated, then they might have alcohol poisoning. There are so many things. You need to call the ambulance. And he's like, okay. He didn't call the ambulance.
What?
No, he did not. So after the lunch that
the meal
that Bish actually ate with the influencer. So the influencer says que ella no tenía nada que ver con él. She
Maybe
was just there,
like a business meeting or something.
She's saying that she's there to help promote the restaurant.
Okay,
but I mean, this girl, she's a vegan. And so she's called herself the vegan something, I don't know, online.
Maybe it could be a little bit of both, you know?
And that's all that they talked about. That's fine. But after the lunch meeting, she sent a message to Bish saying, hey, you smelled so good like roses.
Okay.
So she said that whenever they asked her about that, she said, no, it was an accident. I didn't mean to send that to him.
Okay, whatever.
But there's still more. There's another theory that the girl kind of resembles Saltanat a little bit. If you really like really, really squint.
Oh, entonces no.
Que se parece a ella, maybe on the CCTV. Puede que se parezca. So a lot of the people that were making up shit or saying things were saying que a lo mejor he had done that para que
make it seem she was alive.
Like she was leaving and that she had walked out the restaurant. And but nothing was proven that's what it was.
That's what I would say. It's not like you can schedule something like that within like that short amount of time in my mind. I don't know.
So I want to make this very clear. He was in the VIP room number 4. Okay. His wife is dying in VIP room number 1.
I mean, who's around? I mean, all these people can fuck off and burn.
So Bish and his cousin go and check on her again. And she's still not awake. So his cousin goes and he gets something smelling salts. I had never heard about this, or smelling smelling salts. Apparently it's really strong.
Yeah, güey, las novelas.
En las novelas, yeah.
No, pero las novelas, they do that a lot. Cuando se desmayan somebody,
I thought it was alcohol, güey.
Ammonia too, they do that, ammonia or like
I didn't know that. I thought it was just alcohol. Yo no sabía. But anyway, they put it under her nose and and it was a lot. It had to be enough to wake her up. And it did not work. There was no reaction. So Bish tells his cousin not to worry. It's going to be okay because the psychic had told him that she was just resting her brain. She's fine.
A este pobre señor le andan sacando el dinero, pues. Pues se lo merece, de todos modos. Pero.
So at this point, he starts to text another woman. Yeah.
And who is she?
She's
una bruja?
No, it's an alleged sex worker.
Okay.
And she's kind of famous around like the businessmen. Like she goes around.
Like high paid escort or something.
Mm-hmm. And there's, so those messages start around 7:07 p.m. Estela. 7:07 p.m.
Going on like almost a full day at this point.
At this point, if you're keeping count, we're around almost 24 hours of them being at the restaurant. Okay. And he's asking her if she's free. And
I'm sure this restaurant has to be packed of fucking people by now, dude. Like, what is going on at this fucking restaurant?
I don't know. And then after that, he says, the sex worker le dice que sí, que pues que she's free, que she had just had her eyelashes done. So she's ready to go. And she said, at what time? Then after that, he doesn't do that. So they finally decide to call the ambulance. At this point, medics arrived to the restaurant at 7:55 p.m. on November the 9th.
So like almost 20 hours later.
Exactly.
De que llegaron to the restaurant at 1 a.m.
At 1 a.m.
Earlier that madrugada.
Three medics said that when they walked into the VIP room number 1, they see the woman lying on the sofa, and they said that they had never seen somebody that badly bruised. They did try to resuscitate her, and one of the medics noticed that while they were doing that, trying to work on Saltanat, to get her back, Bish and his cousin were like having a fucking conversation in the corner, like chit-chatting and shit. And dice el medic that he was so stressed out, they were sweating, they were really trying, that they were like, you need to get the fuck out the room.
Like, you guys are getting on our nerves.
Yeah, you're not helping, and Saltanat, they were trying to help. It was too late. Saltanat was pronounced dead at the age of 31.
Wow.
She laid there with her eyes open and her pupils were dilated. So it's said that, I believe, in total, he tortured her for a total of 8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours. And
because cuando llegó el primo, he said that she squeezed his
hand.
Yeah. So ya había pasado, what time was that? Ya habían pasado like 7 hours by that point, or at least por ahí.
So at least 8 hours, but she actually she died a very slow death.
Yeah.
And
that's so sad.
Yeah. So Saltanat's brother gets a phone call from a friend. She's freaking out.
Se lo madrea. Please tell me que se lo madrea still.
No. So asks her, hey, please tell me it's not true. This can't be true. Tell me what's going on. And he's like, what? He's like,
what's
going on? He was eating dinner. Like,
he
was like, I don't know. So he's confused and he asks her, calm down.
And you said that he had been tracking his sister. So he probably saw the phone was moving around and shit.
And that, and because I think that he said that day he wasn't feeling very well, so he had been at home, and he said that whenever the friend lady said check WhatsApp, you have to check it, and when he did, it was a leaked information from the restaurant that a couple had gotten into a fight and that somebody had gotten deadly.
It was somebody was dead.
So he said he got into a car, and he said as soon as he got into the car, I cried because he got it, like
como que le
cayó. But the thing is, remember, I actually was able to see the brother talk about it on Rotten Mango.
Yeah.
And so then the brother is like talking about it, and just the fact that I can't even imagine. So he's like that right before he got there, he got a call from his parents, and his parents were asking him, is this true? What's going on? And so then he's like, Mom, Dad, I don't know.
But
I'm
going to go
on
find
my
out.
way.
Yeah.
And so he said that his dad was like, just go and get your sister and bring her back. And dice que le dijo su dad, take her to the hospital and stay with her. So he knew that she was hurt, but they didn't know that she was dead. Yeah. So then he said when he got to the restaurant, he was trying to get inside. Like, he's like, get the fuck out the way, I'm coming in. And they were like, wait a minute, who are you? And when
my sister bitch got the fuck away.
Yeah. And when he said that was his brother, that the police just said, we're sorry for your loss. And that's when he knew that she was dead. So he said that was the worst thing ever, because now he had to call his parents back.
Yeah, and say, hey, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
And so he said that when he called his parents, he could already hear his mom screaming.
Oh.
So they already knew. Yeah.
Solamente I'm sorry if I didn't know if you said it earlier.
No, it was just them too.
Okay.
So him and some of her friends went to his house, Bish and his sister's house, like Sultanat's house, to go get some clothing, I guess, to like, I don't know, like their stuff or whatever. And because, so in this building vivía Bish y su wife, y en otro, like, I guess como piso vivía la mamá y el papá de Bish. And so then dice que they find Bish's sister and she's screaming at them, grabbing the clothes, y se las está aventando.
What? Lock her up too. What is wrong with these people? And just throwing the clothes on the ground y sus cosas. Y luego she's screaming at her family, diciendo que they will never prove that he killed her, and that she beat herself up and she killed herself. Wow.
Yeah. So not only that, pero
she needs to be in jail.
Yeah, apparently, like she started saying, "You need to get out of here," and started corriéndolos or whatever. And they're like, "Look, we're just here
for her things.
Yeah, like we just need her stuff. Like
this is not your house."
And so then dice que había como una pot. Como ya, pues tenían 2 días en el restaurant, bro. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, pero like tenían un chingo. And so then como que ella había hecho algo de comer or something. Y que le dijo, look, this is what your sister was. She was just nothing. Everything my brother gave her. It was just, the brother says it was bad. So this case went viral in Kazakhstan. And it was because
he was a very high status, and ella también, I mean.
And not only that, but it also happened so often there that, I mean, it was sad. Something that they were just worried about.
You know what?
The investigation.
I'm surprised, not surprised, pero like I'm sure he did it to his first 2 wives también, to some degree.
We're going to get into it, yeah. So, at this point,
y sus hijos,
Saltanat's family is protesting and asking for an investigation with no chance of bribery. They're like, please, just be fair, blah, blah, blah. So with the public's interest in the protesting and the courts decided
they couldn't. Okay,
but Bish decided himself that he wanted this to be open court. Like he wanted it to be. So they broadcasted the trial because he was like, I'm getting out.
He's like, I didn't do nothing.
I don't care.
Pinche viejo.
Y'all can broadcast it. I don't give a fuck. But this was before he knew this. So the trial began on March the 11th of 2024. But
hace un año. Mm-hmm. A little over a year.
So, like I said, Bish claimed that he was innocent and that he didn't want to kill his wife because he loved her. And like I said, he asked for the trial to be public.
So what was his defense, saying that she beat herself up?
That she beat herself up.
What?
Yeah. And I'll go into what he mentions, but I'll do that in a minute. Pero he didn't know that they were able to recover most of the CCTV footage.
Yeah.
So he was fucked. So he said, okay.
His sidekick didn't tell him this.
His sidekick did not say this. So he said...
You know what? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wonder if he called his sidekick.
Am I going to go to jail?
He's like, I thought she was resting her brain.
Yeah. You lied, bitch. Yeah. So anyway, he said she was drunk. Se pegó sola.
No.
She beat herself
up. Autopsy, like, imagine all the injuries that she had.
We're about to go into it.
Okay.
So this was not what evidence showed, obviously. Saltanat had at least 13 blows just to her face. And she had a shattered nose. So we're not talking about like a broken, no, shattered. That means that it was in pieces.
Oh my God.
That there was only, the prosecutor or the people, I guess the police or the investigator said that the only way to do that to your nose, you have to hit something hard. Not only that, there were also bruises that were now in state of healing.
So,
which means that this was not the first time.
Yeah. Y lo de por sí, her brother had kept the pictures.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
From the previous time.
Now, this is really sad, and we don't know if this is what happened, but there was an incidental finding that was in the autopsy that she had a subdural hematoma. So a subdural hematoma means that she had been suffering with a brain bleed. Now, the thing is, this is a pretty serious thing. Like, you have to go to hospital and you have to get checked because you can die from that. Hers had been going on for about a month.
Oh my God.
So now a month from this, of what they can tell, was around the same time of, remember I told you she tried to leave him many, many times.
Yeah.
And then he would do stupid shit because at one point, I guess she found out that he was cheating on her because she came home and there was makeup on her bed and lashes, and then
that wasn't hers.
And then 2 used condoms in the restroom.
Ooh.
I'm like, bitch, flushed, por lo menos bájale al pinche baño, pendejo.
He didn't give a fuck.
He didn't care.
He didn't give a shit.
So she tried to leave him and she wrote him a note. And this was around the time when she had. So he must have.
Like a month prior to this happening.
Like in October. So he must have beat her pretty badly.
So I don't know if you're going to get into like the motive, why they think that he did it. But was it because, I don't know if it's because ella dijo, well, I'm going to leave you.
No. I think it was one of those.
Or it could be like multiple things.
Yeah. So it just she just wanted to be left alone. She's like, just leave me alone. She writes a letter, and the letter, it is out there. Rotten Mango has it, and she talks about it. I didn't want to go into it. I'm
sure you can find it online if you want to.
So when Bish was arrested the night at the restaurant, there was body cam footage of the police putting him in handcuffs, and then they uncuffed him, and then they let him smoke while they got to the precinct and let him go. And he was just walking around como si nada. Then they also heard, they have body cam also footage that after a cop, I guess, went to the scene or whatever, and he's like, she probably provoked him, and she was probably just nagging him when they found out that he had killed his wife. Now, things just get...
It's so sad that this happens to women. And like,
this is 2024, bitch. Like, this isn't like in the 80s. No.
No, it's not like the 50s or something.
No. This is now. This is happening every day.
Y luego que un pinche viejo te venga a decir, es que she was nagging him?
Girl. So things did get really ugly for the Saltanat's family, for her family, her brother, her parents, and everything. So Bish, once again, he's very powerful. I think it's more like...
le tenía miedo.
Yeah, and influential. Like, he knew a lot of people, basically. So one of the many lies that were made public was that Kuandyk, which is her brother, had sexually assaulted Bish's 10-year-old daughter. That was what they were saying.
Wow.
Because he was paying people to put things out there.
Right. To make them look bad.
To make them look bad. So, but he didn't know that this was going to happen. Within a few hours, not even days, bitch, hours, there was another post that it started to go viral, was made by Nazim. Who is Nazim, we ask? Nazim is not only the 10-year-old's mother, but the second ex-wife of Bish.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And she discredited all, baby. She said that she says, this is crazy. I don't know what she's talking about. And you need to stop talking about my little girls or my kids, because I think she had more than one. My children loved their stepmom very much, and they're grieving the loss of her right now. They are suffering, and
and her brother had nothing to do.
Had nothing to do.
Wow,
all the allegations were false.
How are you going to pay people to say that about your own fucking daughter? Like,
yeah. And along with the fact that Bish was on trial, remember that I told you that he was on trial for those allegations for him doing that stupid shit.
Yeah, the parole or whatever.
Guess who the lawyer was? Nazim.
Su wife?
Su ex-wife.
Was his lawyer for that?
Yep.
But what about for this?
No, for this, no.
Okay.
No, for that. And,
and
so she was like, no. There's no reason why she would have to lie.
Yeah.
And then not only that, it was really sad. And I think that this resonated me a lot too, was that her daughter, she says, still texts her stepmom. Y le dice que even after 5 months of her being dead, le decía que la extrañaba y le mandaba decir que she loved her, missed her, and that she couldn't believe the terrible things.
And that just goes to show, I think, how good of a person she was, because they weren't married for long.
No.
Or together for a long time. And so the fact that she got that close to his daughter.
And not only that, but she also released, I didn't write this down, I'm just going based on what I remember. She released the last text message that she had with Saltanat, and she was like, hi, I want to know how you're doing. And, do you want to get together? We can get some dessert. Mm-hmm. She tried
to still have a relationship. She was still with her dad.
So a lot of the things that Nazim said was she didn't really know why he was okay with them getting separated, but she thinks it might be because they had children, pero that doesn't mean that he didn't
do anything to her. Yeah.
Like he would.
Was she his first wife or his second wife? Okay.
He would get mad at her if she wouldn't put his buttons on his shirt right.
Pinche viejo. He would fucking maid hoe?
No, he would get so crazy with her. Y dice que there was a point where he actually picked up a toilet and threw it at her.
Oh?
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. So, she has no reason to lie.
And she's a lawyer.
And why would she lie? Because a lot of people did try to discredit Saltanat. Like a lot of people did, Estela.
But discredit her how?
Like saying that she was a gold digger. Like,
yeah.
Well, I'm going to go into that right now.
Well, she had her own money.
Yeah. Anyway, but people...
Yeah.
We're not going to go there.
It's sad.
In the courtroom, the family had to hear how this man would say so many bad things about her.
And like you were saying, this happens to this day.
Yeah.
And
he would say that she was a gold digger, that she was an alcoholic, that she was sleeping with another man. Basically, she was on drugs. He also said that she was on drugs because she had a family mental disorder.
What?
Not that what does it matter if you're on drugs if you have a family mental disorder? But anyway, but the family actually went to the doctor and they all got.
They shouldn't even have.
They shouldn't have had. But we're talking about.
Obviously, things are done different,
exactly.
And quién sabe how the legal system really works over there.
Yeah. So the toxicology report of her, just so that to put it out on the record, which it doesn't matter, but if it did, she had no drugs in her system, and the alcohol that she had drank, sounded like it was so minimal that they couldn't barely detect it in the.
Yeah, she probably had a drink at the concert or something.
Probably. So he would say that he would give her all this money, que she didn't need anything.
But that doesn't matter.
It doesn't. But the thing is, her family and friends always stated that she was always asking them for money. Because, le daba todo lo que quería, pero no le daba...
what she needed.
No, le daba lo que él quería.
Oh.
So, si le compraba una blusa, it was like la que él quería.
Yeah.
And maybe she didn't want that shit.
Yeah.
Maybe she's like, no, she didn't work anymore. Where was she getting money? So she would ask for money. Prestado. Another thing is that when he found out that the CCTV actually existed, like the footage, he said, oh, well, maybe she didn't kill herself.
No shit, ho.
No. He said that it was just a lie, dude. I was just kidding.
I was scared.
I was kidding. He said that the reason that she killed her, it was because he did have to hit her, but it was only normal marriage hitting.
Normal marriage hitting.
Yeah. He said that he was tired of fighting for 8 hours with her, so he did hit her. But it wasn't
normal.
too hard.
It was normal marriage.
It was normal.
Marriage hitting.
Y que when he would go, que ella estaba irate. She was just so drunk and irate.
God. I don't want to listen to this anymore. Ya me quiero ir a mi casa.
Well, I'm sorry. You still have to listen. I'm almost done. She did hit her. He said that she hit herself. Ella sola. So
she smashed her own nose.
Her own nose, yeah. So this is all the bullshit that this motherfucker was saying, bro.
I'm sure plenty more.
Plenty more. No, this is just like the tip of the iceberg. It took the prosecutors so that you can see how much or how bad she was beaten 40 minutes for them to call out all of the injuries that she had. Yes, 40 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yep. She essentially died from brain trauma and strangulation. The defense was so stupid, Estela. I know. And this is just something that I thought I put it in here because it was stupid. They took pictures of her room, según ellos, to show that the room wasn't that bad. It wasn't
El baño?
tirado. No, VIP room. Girl, tell me why the court found out that the pictures were taken in March. Bitch, the fuck?
Sinvergüenzas, dude, like.
And then all of a sudden, they disappeared.
Of course they did.
So, her brother had to run out of there a few times before throwing up while listening to what happened to his sister.
I'm sure he probably had to be held back too.
Do you remember?
No, I don't want to.
Well, he was reprehended by the court porque se levantó and they were like, you need to tell us where you're going.
Beat his ass.
Yeah. So
he's going to catch these hands.
Do you remember at one point I told you that we would find out 6 months later what happened in the restroom? So we're about to find out. Yeah. They showed them what happened in the restroom the night of the murder. So Bish, actually thinking that he was doing the right thing, he showed the court saying she was cheating on me with this man.
Okay.
And she said that she was. Here, look, the video. He took 12 videos. Bish took 12 videos of her. They were so graphic that they've never been released to the public.
But what does that have to do with her cheating, según él?
They were playing. They played them, right? So this is what they saw was described as Saltanat sitting on the toilet naked the night of the murder. And she was only wearing the jacket. her husband is asking her, you slut? You slept with him? Tell me that you slept with him. According to him, she was cheating on him with the politician that had 4 kids. And he names him, the guy, I don't know the name. And then at this point, he's like putting the camera in her face. Tell me that you cheated. You were sleeping with him.
He was like coercing her to say it. He fucking was just beating the shit out of her.
And you can hear her. She's like, yeah.
She probably was like disoriented and shit. But had a fucking concussion.
She was so...
And that's his proof.
Beaten. Yeah. She was beaten so bad that her eyes were completely shut and her face was so bloody that she was not recognizable. Okay? Her knees are cut open and there's blood everywhere. And he is like putting this fucking camera in her face, the phone, talking about, you fucked him, didn't you? You slut. And he started calling her a slut and you bitch and all of this shit. Oh. And he's like holding her face because she can't even hold her face up, Estela. And she's just like, yeah. Like, como diciéndole, ya.
Huevo,
o sea,
ya.
Está
Like,
bueno,
wey,
ya.
So
then...
Para que se cayera la boca, I'm sure.
Para que la dejara. And calling him a slut and calling her a slut and doing all of these things to her, like making her head, like holding her head up because she can't like even hold it. And then at a point where Saltanat sounds so tired, Estela.
I'm sure.
She's exhausted and she's just like, yeah, agreeing with whatever he said and he wanted to hear. Apparently...
That was his proof, según él. Pues.
That was his proof.
Wow.
That was his proof. Yes. So, like I said, her family was like, they couldn't even see it. They just heard it. So, like I said before, at the beginning, the trial was broadcasted and it took for about 7 weeks live.
Damn.
On YouTube.
Oh, shit.
Until Bish was found guilty of killing his wife. And he was sentenced to only 24 years in prison.
I hope he dies in prison.
On May the 13th of 2024, the public was
obviously,
outraged.
Of what he had done to her, right?
Of what he had done to her and of what everything. The case led to an enactment for stricter domestic violence laws in Kazakhstan, and they were actually informally known as the Saltanat laws. They named them after her, and they did come in effect on June 15 of 2024.
Right away.
In this country, or in a lot of countries, but in this one in particular, in Kazakhstan, approximately 400 women die annually due to domestic violence abuse.
That's so sad. Like we're saying, it happens all over the world in 2025, In
2025. And that is the story of Saltanat Nukenova. Saltanat. Sorry, but that is her tragic death. And I hope that man
brought in prison.
Man, I hope they beat his ass every day. And then I hope they take videos of him saying, yeah, you're my bitch.
You're a slut.
Yeah, I hope that's what I hope for him. Yeah.
Pinche viejo, I hope he doesn't know peace. And honestly, I hope these people that were también at the restaurant and didn't help her, I hope they never have a restful sleep in their whole life.
I'm going to tell you, I think the cousin did get was going to get charged or whatever, but he agreed to work with the police with the whatever.
Wow.
But even at that, there was a story about how at one point for their New Year's is kind of like Christmas, and the cousin had come over and he was unexpectedly coming over, and they were all going to open gifts at a certain time. So Saltanat was really worried because llegó and she's like, I don't have a gift for them.
Right.
So she went into the room y le dio uno de sus gifts, un perfume que le había comprado el estúpido and he goes off and he just makes a whole big old deal about it. Oh, I forgot one more thing I forgot to say. I don't know why I forgot to mention this. He would not let her sleep.
What?
He would not let her sleep. He would torture her. And then he would sit there. I don't know. It came up. I don't know if he talked to someone or something like that, but later it came out. I don't know. I think it was at the trial. I don't know, honestly. I just heard it somewhere. Que he would watch porn in the middle of the night. Y luego ya cuando miraba a alguien y le decía, she would be asleep and he would wake her up and say, you look like her. Why do you look like her? Are you doing this right now? Why? And like that.
What?
Y no la dejaba.
What's wrong with this man?
No la dejaba dormir. So she would, and then in the morning, he would have people watching her to make sure she wouldn't sleep. So he would torture her. Yeah. To that point. to where she had I
can't believe
her parents, everybody was so concerned.
I just can't, it's so sad to think that people go through this,
and it happens every day. That's what I'm saying. That's what kills me. It's like, the fact that, at what point does she think, okay, is he really in love? Because she really
like he pursued her that hard to treat her like this.
Yeah.
Like, what was it?
Yeah. And
leave her alone.
Yeah. And that's all she wanted. She just wanted him to, I'm pretty sure at one point when she's there dying, she's like, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Just leave me alone.
Well, I'll say whatever you want me to say. Just leave me alone.
Yeah. And that's the sad part, that no one helped.
I can't, that's so sad that her last moments, she knew, I don't know if she was conscious enough to know that there were other people around and nobody was fucking helping her.
She knew, dude.
That's so sad.
Come on. People are walking around. You're being dragged naked across the fucking restaurant. Like, she knew. And I just feel so sad for her. And I hope that her family can find peace. And
her too, honestly, wherever she is.
Yeah, wherever she is. And all the way from little bitty old Houston.
Yeah.
But you know what?
And, if anything good comes out of this tragedy, hopefully, these stricter domestic laws help somebody,
because her
help
brother
another
said
woman.
that he wasn't going to stop because he was her voice.
Yeah.
And I mean,
he wasn't going to let her down.
No, he wasn't. And he hasn't. He's been doing an amazing job. And like, even whenever he was doing that, the interview with Rotten Mango, she was saying like, he was in the court and then he came here and he only saw us for like for 2 hours.
For her.
Like he just was like stopping. A little bit. Yeah. So let us know what you think. If you would like to follow us on Instagram, you can at
Cafecito and Crime Pod. And if you would like to download our episodes, rate us or leave us a review, we would really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you in the next one.
Bye.